I warned you guys last week that there was an unholy alliance brewing between showrunner Russell T Davies of Doctor Who and showrunner Alex Kurtzman of Star Trek. Now, both these men have ruined their respective franchises with their wokeness, with their terrible ideas. From what we've seen of going forward from both Doctor Who and Star Trek, the new appearances of these shows are just going to get even worse. Even with poor ratings and all this stuff, they're doubling down. It's really weird. I mean, these companies must just give them a blank check and say, we don't care, and just let them go, because there's no financial incentive for any of this. It doesn't make any sense. Like how somebody could blow so much money, blow so many audiences, and just like wreck shows like this. But they are actually working on a kind of Doctor Who crossover. Yay. It's even worse and lamer and dumber than you ever could have expected. And we're going to get into the news in just a moment. All right. My name is John Delarose, everybody. I am a #1 best-selling science fiction author. If you like Star Trek, Doctor Who, Star Wars, Warhammer 40K, I've got a replacement for you with this great graphic novel called The Hidden Emperor. This actually does honor to science fiction. I took really good pride in my craft here. Got a wonderful artist from the old indie 80s explosion of comics. And so we're trying to bring things back to the way things were back when it was like 2000 AD and Heavy Metal Magazine, Valerian and Laureline, back with comics that were just wonderful. So check this out. Oh, we just got a backer. Awesome. We hit $20,000 over the weekend. We actually added a new story into this by Battletech author Blaine Pardo, who's like a legend in the industry as well. So grab this. It's in the description below. Thank you guys so much for being there and supporting what we got going. I really appreciate you and just like how hard you've come in on this project. It's been amazing. Thanks again. And please hit the like and subscribe button. Join us here. My passions are Doctor Who and Star Trek, guys, and it's really sad what this has all come to at this point. Bad YouTuber. I just revealed my big reveal. Oh, well. But this panel was happening at San Diego Comic-Con. I reported on it, speculating that they were going to do some sort of crossover event. If you looked at Doctor Who this season, they actually referenced Star Trek in it in the universe, like the characters understood that Star Trek existed. It was mentioned in the show, and they got interviewed about that in Collider a while back. Now, Russell T Davies made a bunch of statements about how he's loving new Star Trek, the stuff that everybody hates with this whole deal. And with this love of new Star Trek, he mentioned he especially loves Star Trek Discovery. Yay. This is where he said he really connected with the show. It makes sense, because what is Star Trek Discovery? It's black and gay. That's really all there is to the show. There's not much else to it. There's a lot of just crazy pronoun stuff in it. It's all the crap that Russell T Davies is putting into his current agenda Doctor Who show. And so, of course, he would talk about that. Then he went off and he made some weird, creepy, lustful comments about the star of Strange New Worlds, the guy who plays Captain Pike, just talking about how sexy he is and how he'd like the guy to marry him. Very weird stuff. Now, again, like you look at like just the double standards in the industry on how Russell T Davies talks about other men and sexualizes them and degrades them like this. Think about this. If there was a showrunner of a show talking about a woman like that, a female actress like that, he'd be fired immediately. You know this. So the gays in the industry get to do this stuff. They get to basically verbally sexually assault somebody like this, and yet they get carte blanche to just do whatever they want instead of actually having to take down their show or anything like that. Now, team up with Alex Kurtzman, who, of course, has ruined Star Trek with Star Trek Discovery, with Lower Decks nonsense over the last few years. It's just been a train wreck. They've announced that they're going to be doing a Starfleet Academy show, which is actually going to have the same Discovery actors, just dovetailing right out of that. It's going to star the fat redhead chick that nobody liked from the main show. And then they're going to be doing a live-action parody show now of Star Trek, that's going to dovetail out of Lower Decks. The lady who plays the Lower Decks person is going to be the person who's been doing that. On the other front, Russell T Davies is making another show of like a strong black lady lead that's spinning out of Doctor Who, and he's promised that Doctor Who is going to be pushing more musical numbers and being even gayer and weirder in 2025 than it has been in the 2024 season so far. This is par for the course for what these two men are doing. Now, speculation arose with this that there was going to be a crossover that was going to go on because of this panel, which was a Star Trek and Doctor Who like friendship panel that they were trying to do during this whole deal. And with all this going on, like, people were like, are they going to start crossing over episodes? I still think this is something that's going to be on the table coming in the years, because I think they're trying to hype up towards this, and I think they're trying to grab this. Now, this is not the only Star Trek crossover that's been done before. They actually did it in the comic books. IDW published a comic book of the Matt Smith Doctor teaming up with Star Trek The Next Generation a while back. There's a hardcover version of that that's available that, like, you can find. It's actually a really good story. I enjoyed it a lot. The Cybermen and the Borg team up. And so it's a kind of a natural team-up sort of deal in that environment that worked really, really well in that comic. Now, this thing is quite the opposite. It's going to be extremely cringy, and it's, of course, parody stuff that's going to be mocking both Star Trek and Doctor Who. You see that they've got a David Tennant-style Doctor Who with a River song here. That's kind of a mixed message here. You've got K9 from the old era. You've got a Dalek there, and the Lower Decks people and all the Lower Decks kind of deal. Now, what are they doing with this? It's going to be a mobile game. Oh, yes. Something that nobody wanted, something that nobody asked for, a mobile game of Doctor Who and Star Trek combining. So, weird with David Tennant and River Song getting together. Why wouldn't they use Matt Smith in that situation? I don't know. Maybe they just wanted the iconic look, or maybe Matt Smith won't give his image rights. I don't know. But here it is. It's going to take place in 2 different mobile games: Star Trek Lower Decks, The Bagley Directive, and Star Trek and Doctor Who Lost in Time. So mobile games are a segment that, like, painful stuff anyway. Events in both games will show different perspectives of the same wibbly-wobbly space-time MacGuffin. Oh, joy. That sounds great. With 10 aboard Lower Decks' USS Cerritos and River Song, joined by crew members Lieutenant Brad Boimler and Ensign Beckett Mariner. Both mobile games are developed by the same studio. Of course it is. Each offers their own selection of new stories with their respective franchises. So they say this is the first time it's joined forces in the world of video games. There has been the comic book, of course, that's come out of the Doctor Who crossover. But what a dud of an announcement, guys. I mean, if you look at things that are attempting to even promote what's going on right now for both the series, like, why would you even do this? Lower Decks is getting canceled. It's ending after this season. This is the end of it because it did so poorly on Paramount Plus. People, like, it was one of those things that's like a cute concept for the first season. You can kind of laugh at the jokiness of Star Trek and all that. But once you get on with it, it's like there's really no point to it, and it just, like, it becomes a cringe fest after a while. They went way over the line with a lot of this stuff, and of course pushed a lot of the diversity agenda throughout all this, like they do everything else. It was basically a poor versions of Rick and Morty in space. And that's why it's finally getting the axe. Putting Doctor Who into this kind of scenario is, again, just a mockery of Doctor Who. It's a mockery of David Tennant. And I got to think that's kind of intentional as they're going into the Nikuti Gatwa era, where they're trying to rewrite everything, pretend it's an all-new season 1 and the like. Both these franchises are dead at this point, and both of these are like dead versions of the franchise. So it's like, is this going to get anybody hyped for a game and get anybody hyped for a crossover? I don't think so. I think it's a bad promotion for both topics, and I think it's just dead on arrival, that nobody's going to want this and nobody's going to play this at the end of the day. But this is what they do. This is how dumb they think you are. They think you'll just mindlessly consume anything that has these 2 franchise names on it. I think I got to do another video talking about the new Star Trek stuff coming up, because it's mind-bogglingly stupid as well. If you think that the war between land and sea, the spinoff of Doctor Who, doesn't make any sense, where it just doesn't have any characters anybody cares about in it, spinning off of a version that nobody cares about as well. Star Trek's going even further into this direction with their new shows that they announced at Comic-Con, and it's looking to be absolutely crazy. Now, they're lying about everything that's going on. Doctor Who's, of course, talking about how great their ratings are and how it continues to grow. The BBC is lying about this again, saying that it's a complete success in the Nikuti Gatwa era. And we've seen the ratings. They're the lowest ever in Doctor Who history. Now, they're hoping that, like, this is some new streaming era and there's a long tail. People are going to be watching this over the next years and it'll pick up. But it's not going to pick up enough to matter. There's no way at this point. When you have no buzz behind a show, nothing new coming out for another year, it's just going to die on the vine, and we've seen that so far in the ratings as well. So as much as they try to tell you as a success, as much as they try to tell you that these younger audiences are somehow loving this, they never show any of that data. They never show anything that actually shows anything different other than this being an abject failure. So maybe it is something that's fitting. Maybe this is actually the crossover between Doctor Who and Star Trek that we deserve at this juncture, something that's campy and cheesy and stupid and in a dumb mobile game that nobody actually wants. The death of a franchise or two. All right, leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure to check out the Hidden Emperor Kickstarter. That's going to be in the description below. Thank you so much for being there. We'll be back soon.